welcome again to Scent with Love from Rita. This is the third in our series of Lots of Lavender. And this is the little plume of floral we've been working with and the little watercolor mark. We've done a couple of cards already, and we're going to do a different style one today. We're going to be using this Petal Pair textured embossing folder. And if you remember, I did another one with this, and it had a yellow flower. This is a really beautiful, just smaller version of a folder. It's probably less than half of a other style folder that we've had in the past. And this is the texture that it does, really pretty floral. I've torn the edge of this particular one. I'm going to bring in the other style that comes with this set of folders. If you can see, it's kind of like having a twig with vines. It's just a little bit different textured floral. So you've got the flowers and you've got the vines. And we are going to be using the old olive in the flower pattern of that. And so that's found in our occasions catalog on page 23. Okay, let's move in here with what we're going to be using today. It's a 5 by 6.5 inch rectangular card opening on the side flap, and then we'll be using this Petal Pair here. And then the colors that we'll use are Perfect Plum and Wisteria Wonder. We're going to do a simpler technique than the last two, and then also the Pear Pizzazz and the Lemon Lime Twist for the leaves and the Lemon Lime Twist ribbon. And we're also going to be using lots of labels to give us the impression that we're going to be using for the floral. It's the second one in here. This is the one that we'll be using, and we cut that out of our watercolor paper. So let's get started on our stamping. And what we're going to try to do is fit this perfectly evenly in the upright position of this lots of labels. And we're going to do this backwards of what we did before. We're going to be taking our darker color of the Wisteria Wonder and first giving the impression of the flower. I'm going to go backwards on this. I like to only get that on the flowers. Now, positioning this as straight as possible with coming down. We want the whole piece in the picture. Actually going to do the swoosh over the impression, and that will be in Perfect Plum. But let's first get our Pear Pizzazz. Just get those with the little bow we did the last time. Positioning that right center in that pretty curve with the lots of labels. And you can see there's a little gap. I'm not concerned about that. We're going to put our swoosh in there anyways. What I want to do before I do that is just a little spritz of water, getting things to start to run a little bit. And now we bring in our Perfect Plum and swish that right over the top, and we want to get that centered over the flowers. Okay, and let the water do its magic. Now we'll come in with our leaves. First the larger leaf and the Pear Pizzazz again. That's been spritzed, so it should bleed a little bit in a lovely way. This is the glory of this pretty stamp set, is it's supposed to be an easy way to do some watercolor look. Right, now I want to bring in lemon lime twist, a few little tiny ones here and there. And hanging down a little bit. Off to the side right there. Down here. Very pretty. I said it was going to be simple. I'm just going to paint in here. Color of the bow, just with our aqua painter again. And I can't help it, but I need a little darker green. Do a little garden green. I also don't like flowers to be one tone and paint in a little bit. Perfect plum into these spots that didn't get it. Okay. A little bit of this pear pizzazz, a little more of it. I decided I'd like to just get the tip here again into this Wisteria Wonder color that I did the flourish with pattern, just to give it a little more exact dimension. Put away our ink pads, clean our hands, and we'll get assembling this card. Okay, just bring in our elements again. Our embossed piece, and I tore on the edge. This is the upside down, the softer version of it, and this is sticking out, and I want the sticking out part. And here's a piece of ribbon. I've got some baker's twine in the same old olive, and I also have a gold baker's twine, and I'm thinking I want this gold, not the dark. Okay, so let's get assembling this. I'm just going to be putting my typical liquid glue on the back of this piece, and I just want the piece to have a little edge from the end of the card, like that. It shows equal distance of cream here and here along this edge. And then I'm going to lay this right along here. Lift this up off of there and tie that little baker's twine right here. I'm just going to show you a trick that I do. So I use double stick tape on this ribbon, and there's more width than the ribbon. When I have a little edge like this, it gives me the opportunity to emboss on that edge. So I'm going to be embossing, and unfortunately Stampin' Up doesn't have this product, but it's a green that matches the old olive perfectly, and I'm going to emboss on that. I'm just going to pour it on there and then use my heat gun, and it'll give a really gorgeous shimmery look to that edge. Okay, so what I did was I used my Versamark, and like I've showed you in the past, I tapped the edge all around in Versamark and then poured the embossing powder on that. And with this piece, I had showed you there was a little left over, and so I just embossed that as well because it's stuck to that little lip of tape. And then I put my fun foam on the back of this piece, and now I will just be adhering that to the card, and then we will be embellishing it with some different sequins. And I just put a couple of blocks on there until it could adhere nice and flat. What I also did was I tied the gold ribbon to the bottom of that bow and adhered that with a little glue dots. You just kind of squeeze that into the little knot that you tie. And then I also did some wink of Stella on the flowers as we had done in the previous two cards. And now I'm just going to be taking some sequins. So we have two styles of sequins. This is the metallic sequins, and there's copper and gold and white and black in this one. And also I had received from a paper pumpkin some sequins that has some green as well. And so we're just going to be dotting the sequins here and there on the card, wherever we feel. Oh, I also want to show you that up in here, there was a little bit of extra paint that kind of got around in a way that I didn't feel like I controlled it like I would have liked. So I just used this chalk marker, which we've done in the past, to kind of keep your eye from going right to that. And so I'm just going to put some sequins here and there on this card to get the eye moving around the card. Right now I'm focusing on the greens and golds to just kind of bring the color around. You should always do threes, and sometimes you can do big and small. I think I'm happy with that. You can play around with it however much you want. And that's so soft and lovely. I hope you liked this card. It's the third in the series of Lots of Lavender, made with Sent with Love from Rita. I am so thrilled that you joined me today to see some new ideas with this one stamp set. I like to do lots of different styles with one stamp set so that you can see how it's worth it and how many different ways you can do something and create different styles of cards. I hope you send some love out into your world. I'm going to be excited to send this to somebody with a lot of my love, and I will see you again soon. If you need anything, just go to the links below and you can pick up some of these little sequins or any of the little ribbon and things that we used today. All right, I will see you soon. Take care and God bless you. Bye-bye.